Okay. Hi again, Tamara. So for the persons who have joined us, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining. By the way, this is the first time I'm live in any, well, I mean, not on social media, I should say. So the first time I'm
Okay,
live
because I was
on,
not about to say nope.
exactly. So I'm used to being live on TV, but it's the first time I'm actually live on IG. So, I mean, it's a learning experience for me. But for everybody tuning in, yes, I am Tamara McKayle. I am a communication specialist. I'm a millennial, but I started out my media career almost 10 years ago. And not to give out my age, but almost 10 years ago is like I started at 20, and I started out as a TV presenter on CBM television, and at the time there was this competition called the Anchor. Pretty much they were looking for a journalist, and I was fresh. I was in Carmack. I was the youngest person, and yeah, that's how I started. I won that competition. Started out in TV. Before that, I did some experience in radio at New Stop while I was on campus. I used to work on campus doing the PR office. That was like before I actually started in TV, and yeah, so I was at CBM for like a year as a presenter and a producer. Then I left, and then I'm so hot, sorry. And then I went to for 2 years while I was still at UWI. I worked with Owen James. He had this business program called On a Personal Note, which yeah features persons who are in the business environment, and I hosted this segment called The Achievers, which features up and coming or rising business leaders. And I did that for 2 years still at UWI. So all this time I was still at UWI. By the time I finished UWI, then I went to JIS, Jamaica Information Service, which you know as the Jamaica Magazine program.
Right.
And I was there for 3 years as a TV presenter and producer and a writer. And then after that, so I've been kind of like up and about. So then after that, I went to Sports Max for those who watch sports. So they have a news arm called Scene Caribbean News. So I went there as their executive producer for the news arm and also a news anchor. And I did that for 3 years. And then I left there maybe about 8 to 9 months ago. And now I'm with the Office of the Cabinet, specifically the Office of the National Security Advisor. So that's on the Office of the Cabinet, Office of the Prime Minister, as a communication specialist. And I still do freelance TV presenting. And since recently now, I've ventured into the whole world of YouTube vlogging. So anybody here, please support my channel. It's called The Trailblazers with Tamara McKayle, and it's a fresh new channel, but we feature a lot of inspirational persons. We've had so far a former Olympian. We've had Kamir, who is the founder of Minds of Jamaica, and a computational biologist. And just my latest episode, which was released last night, we had Senator Floyd Morris, who is, of course, Jamaica's first blind senator. So we have some very good personalities that we've been featuring. So it would be good for you guys to check that out. It's called The Trailblazers with Tamara McKayle, and that's on YouTube.
Okay, so sorry, I'll be the first to follow after this video.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I'll definitely be following. So we got quite a few questions for you that I'm hoping that you'll be able to answer them for our viewers so that they'll be able to get to know you a little bit. All right, so let me start with the questions that I have for you. First question, so you've shared your journey with us and your very, very long resume. So if only I made use of my time so much. I didn't do so much part-time jobs while I was at school. So sis, you did it all. So one of the questions I have is, what was the journey like for you? So your journey to your career, what was that like for you? Was it a straightforward path to your career?
Okay, well, to be honest, I would say that it has been a good journey. I can't complain, but at the same time, you can't expect. For me, it wasn't a smooth ride. So yes, so to be honest, it has its ups and downs like any other journey. But for example, starting out so young, I was very naive as it relates to a lot of things, and so. But at the same time, I don't regret anything. But it it has been a learning experience. So for example, when I started out, as I said, being so young, I was fortunate to have like good mentors and good supervisors who kind of me along the way. And at the same time, though, like there were some persons who maybe did not take me as seriously, and so I found that I had to work even harder, to prove that. And it's not like you're proving to them, but also to yourself that you do this.
Comments at all. So I'm happy that you brought up, you answered the part about having mentors along the way, because that was my next question. If you had mentors and how they benefited your journey. So you did share that you definitely had some mentors that guided your path.
Definitely, as I said, which one of the reasons I love being a part of Minds of Jamaica, because it's, to me, it's like paying it forward and giving back, and I believe that's so important. But yeah, I've had very good mentors, supervisors that I've worked with. They helped to hone my skill. I mean, I always give big ups to the late Ian Boyne, because he interviewed me on Profile when I was 19 years old. To be honest, other than Oprah Winfrey, he was probably the other person
Right.
that I wanted, that I saw myself like in terms of media, because he really encouraged me. And I don't want to start naming names, although I mentioned him, but there are so many persons alive in terms of the industry who have really opened doors for me and really helped me. So really, I'm grateful to give thanks for. And that's why I believe in terms of paying it forward, because the truth is, all of us didn't get here on our own, and so it's important back. And especially as a female in the industry too, and then especially when you're attractive.
Yes.
And so when you start, I know, so you imagine you're super young and you're attractive, and then people, you're, your stuff, or
Adds to the struggle,
you
right?
will, yeah. So sometimes people might not take you as seriously, one, and then two, you will find that some persons may want to prey on. So you just have to be authentic. You have to know your values, and you have to just work hard. I mean, I know we're in an age of instant this, instant that, which is good. Thank God for social media and everything. But at the same time, it's important to still work hard, or work smart and hard, if you can do both.
Right. Well, I totally agree. And I get the part about people not taking you seriously. So it just adds to the workload. Like you already had to work hard to get here. So now you have to show that you're serious. So I get.
Exactly.
So what did you do then when plagued with doubts during your journey? Like feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you're not doing enough. How did you balance that?
That's a very good question. Because that happens to this day. That still happens, and humans, and you're going to have you question yourself. And also, just remember, when I did my first TV presenting, and I think I mispronounced a particular word, and I was so embarrassed after. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that. So, but I think that the fact that when I started, it was because of a public public competition, a public vote. So in a way, it kind of maybe helped me, because people would have seen your face, and also they would have probably been a bit more understanding because okay, you're a student, but after a while they can't really use that as an excuse because by give you a couple years in history you would have had to have certain experience and certain knowledge. So self will come in. There are times when you question yourself, but it's important to dwell on that because that's human nature. You know, it's important to encourage yourself, and it's also important to have people around you that push you and motivate you. And in those moments when you question yourself, those are the people that are like, are you crazy? Really? You can do this. So that will come, but it's the important thing is that you don't stay there, you don't dwell on that. That's the most important thing.
That's true. So, do you think having a network or a group of persons that share your career path helped with your motivation, your self-esteem, all of that?
It did. It did. But I think generally for me though, I've always been the kind of person, I would say faith driven and then self driven. Faith driven because I've always been sort of spiritual, and so I believe in God, and I believe that He made us all for a purpose, and that He has, you know, all of us have something to. So for me, that has always been like my foundation. But at the same time, it's good when you have persons who push you on. But I would also say, for example, like me, my mother is a huge source of motivation. In her eyes, I'm still her little girl, and I am still her. But yeah, so it's important to have encouragement from others, pushes you. But most important thing I believe, other than the belief in that God has your back, is to have that belief in your own self. Because once you have that belief in your own self, like you're unstoppable, no trial, no test, no nothing that you go through will, even if it might hurt you for a little bit, but you're not going to stay down. You're going to get back up. You're going to keep going. So it's important because the truth is, I've had times when a spotlight is on you, and then there are times when no spotlight is on you. You are depending on the public or the crowd to give you that self-esteem or to give you that push. The truth is, or as we know, sometimes the public views may weigh. So it's important that you have that self-belief, have that motivation, you have that drive for yourself. And so in those moments when you think that the applause or the spotlight is not on you, you are still grounded and you still can,
Okay. Well, that's true in all aspects of life, I believe. So I'm happy that that is one of the things that you gathered on your journey. Um, my, my next question was gonna be, how do you stay motivated and how do you balance both work and your interests, which is you named several, writing, producing, TV present, all of that, plus your personal life or your personal responsibilities? Like, how do you create a balance between both?
Okay. Balance. I remember listening to somebody recently. Well, let me answer the first part. How do I stay? Honestly, I've always been an avid reader. I love reading. I would think of myself as a bookworm. So, even from growing up, I would just read a lot of books, and persons that I look up to. Maybe for me, like I admire like a Winfrey. So when I was a little girl, I used to be sitting down, and I don't know which little girl does sitting down. There are two programs I used to watch on a Sunday. It would be Oprah, and then it would be Ian Boyne doing Profile. And so when I used to watch Profile every Sunday evening, I always listened to those persons and heard their stories, and I always felt as being on that program. And then, as I said, it happened with Ian Boyne, and so for me, it's hearing the stories of others who have overcome they're not that pushes me, because it's like I can do that too. I would tell myself that it's reading the stories of others, because I mean, I remember, because my birth certificate says Manchester, and I used to live in Manchester, but really and truly I'm from Trelawney, because that's where my family is from and everything. And so imagine you are in rural Jamaica, rural Trelawney, and you tell your friends that, oh, one day I'm going to be on TV and I'm going to be doing this and that, and they all cracked up. They're like, ah.
Right.
Because to them it's, but I always just had that drive and that determination. So when it happened for the first time, I remember that my same classmates like, oh my God, I remember I used to say. So as I said, so what motivates me is really looking at the lives of others who have done it, and the fact that they have overcome, in some people, way more challenges than I have, and are doing amazing things with their lives. So that pushes me. It could be persons around you, and as I said, it could be us who you may not have even met in person, but you can have the internet, you can watch their videos, you can research. All right, in terms of balance now, I don't know if I have balance, to be honest. I think it's just making things a priority as it comes, if I'm supposed to put it that way. So, for example, if, okay, I have work responsibilities to get done, I get it. I think I will, how I do it still, I'm still at school, I will probably have like a to-do. Either I write it down or I have it on the phone, but I have a set of tasks each day. To be honest, I literally still like to write down, and then once I finish it, I just stick. So maybe that helps. I don't know if I fully have balance though, because from I know myself, this, I'm a workaholic. So I don't know. Have balance. I don't know if you can actually have balance, to be honest, but you make priority. So it's not a case where I work all the time, but I don't have time to connect with my family and friends. I still make them a priority. But it's not a case where I'm always going to be giving them 100%. It just all depends on what the circumstance or the situation is.
I think the audio is delayed because I'm looking at it and I think
Hearing?
you stopped talking, but I'm still hearing it. But okay, I'm gonna work with it. Right. So, well, it sounds like you're more of a time management person than okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then I'm going to do that. So it's more like what you're doing next, or what's most important to do next then.
Exactly. Which is not always a good thing though, I'm going to be honest. Because sometimes I beat myself as being a last minute person. But even if I'm last minute, I will probably dedicate, like I remember, like even at when I'm at university, and I would have like maybe have an asset, but it's not like I was really and truly, it's just that I had so many other things doing, and then now I have all night now to finish it, or stuff like that. So I like how you described it just now. It's giving priority.
Okay. All right, so it's buffering one more time, so I'm not sure if you're hearing me.
I am hearing you.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna work with it since you're hearing and I can hear you. All right, so a communication specialist is not one of the careers that is very obvious to a person. So what would you share with a person who is looking to venture into this career path?
Okay, well, I'm going to probably start off with the vision first, because really and truly, like, out of my 10-year career, I've done TV full time for 9. So that is all. And the TV that I'm doing, and I still, as I said, the TV now, it's just that it's more freelance. But all of it comes under the umbrella of communication. So I would definitely say to somebody who is interested in the field is do your research, because it's important to know why you're getting into it. So for example, suppose you want to go into TV because you're like, oh, I want to be on TV and I want people to know my face and to see me. I mean, that's nice as well, but on maybe having a pretty face, you also need to have substance. So because viewers will easily, yeah, you know how viewers, especially in Jamaica, they will see if you're authentic or not. So it's important to, and they will, and at first, they'll, especially if you're new, they might be really nice to you because they're like, okay, she knew or whatever. But after a while, if you go and go do foolishness, yeah, our audiences will important to do your research and also to, I would also say to be skilled, get certain skills, so it doesn't becoming a communication specialist. Obviously, you need to be able to well because you're going to be communicating with people. So maybe, for example, you may need to do a public speaking course. Maybe you need to do a voice and speech course then, if it's a case where you didn't study, because the truth is to work in media or to work in communication all the time, because you have people all the time with that change careers. So it's not necessarily that you have to have, it depends on what specific area, like have a degree in, you at least need to have the skill sets. So maybe you do some short courses and you also need to get some certification because that also help you. There are places in Jamaica that offer certification like I know CPTC, individual like personalities. Karamak has short courses as well. And then of course, in terms of the digital landscape, you have more and more places that are offering courses as well. So it just tends to just be informed, know what you're about, why you're doing it, and also get those as well.
Okay. You mentioned CPTC. What's that?
Don't tell me I'm buffering again.
It's I can hear you.
CPTC.
Yes, what's that?
Okay, so it's the creative center. So it's a bit of the Ministry of Culture, and they offer a lot of, like voice and speech training and other media opportunities. So like some of the well known persons, for example, like I don't know if Paula and Porter still does it, but I know she does a voice and speech course with them. I don't know if she still does it, but I know she was with them for a while. So a lot of the personalities that you see, some of them have been through there. But as I said, you have different options. It could be that you do training on the job too, because for me, was during, because even though I went to Karamak, I actually did not study TV. I actually studied PR. So, but then I ended up working today majority, in TV, because most of what I did, I learned on the job. And then also, as I said, I did several courses over the years. So I did courses like with Faye Ellington. I did a course with Ian. I did course with a course with Alma Mokien, and most of those were on the job courses. So there are courses that you can do, maybe your place of employment may offer as well.
Okay. All right, great. So I know a lot of those options I didn't know about. So I'm not thinking they would be available to most persons as well. So I'm happy that you were able to share that with us. Now, you mentioned that you went to Karamak. If I'm a high school student looking to be a TV personality or a radio personality or just a communication specialist overall, what would you recommend for this? What path would you recommend for this person? For example, if they were going to do 6Cs, Cape, the full words. Feel like it's delayed again.
Okay. No, please, internet, please. You're hearing me?
Yeah, hearing you now.
Okay. Did you sell? I need to write a formal letter. All right. I would say though, in terms of subjects, so for me, I've always loved the arts. So I was really good at English, but with language at school. So I mean, clearly, if you're going to be in communication, you at least need to have a good grasp of the English language, because you're going writing and then speaking, and people, so you need to have your grammar in check, and so English is critical, and everybody needs to do English anyway.
That
However,
is
like
right.
other courses, I think, yeah, but I think as it relates to other courses, though, I'm going to be real, like, to get into Carmack, I don't know if it's changed in terms of the criteria, but it's not like a specific thing to say that, okay, you have to do like these, you have to arts or what. I think once you have like the required CXCs to go to university, I know when I went to Carmack, they had an entrance exam. Don't know if that's the case now, so they could always call and find out. And then of course, UTech also has a media program, so they can also check with and find out. But the truth is, I've seen people in media now that are doing super well, and they didn't even study, journalism, or study at Carmack or whichever media place. They learned on the job, and also they have like a natural talent. It's good if you have a natural talent and a natural flair, and then of course you work on whatever skill as well. So, but it's good when you have if you want to be the kind of person that has what should I say, the accreditation behind the name,
Right.
then of course whichever place that you're interested to go, just call them. So if you're a high schooler, call up the University of the West Indies, call up Carmack and find out what are specifications need. But as I said, as far as I remember, it's not a thing that you need to have like do the arts, or or whichever subject area. Other than, of course, as I said, English is key, but the others are not like super important.
Okay. All right. So you went straight back to doing the research. So I am with that, because with everything you need to know what you're getting yourself into. So I want to check though, what is the career, what is life like in the career path of a communication specialist? Do you have odd hours? Do you have like, would it be suitable for would you call it a 9 to 5? What is the life like?
All right, I'm going to be honest. I'm still getting used to it in terms of the hours, because the hours right now, it all depends on where you're working. So, I mean, as I said, when I started out um, in television, and as I said, most of my journey so far has been television. So let me talk about television, and then like the more PR aspect. Television, the hours, sorry, they can be very odd, because my previous job, which I was in for the last 3 years, I would be leaving work sometimes 10:30, 11 o'clock in the nights. But ours is different, because we are going into a newsroom. We have a 7 o'clock live newscast, and so maybe I'm going to work then a little later than the average person, because maybe I'm going to work maybe 11 o'clock or 10:30, and ideally it's supposed to be 12, but because I was the team leader, I would have to go in from before. And then, as I said, because I'm the team leader, again, when everybody leaves at 8, I may have other things to get done, so I may be leaving like 10:30 or 11. So the hours can be long, to be honest. And you have to also realize that, especially in the media field, you may be required to work a lot of times on weekends, most times on weekends, a Saturday or Sunday. So if you're somebody then who doesn't want to work on weekends, this is probably not the career for
Maybe
you.
not the best
Or
idea.
exactly, or I'm not going to say it's not the career for you, or maybe you have to work out something where it's a freelance then, but it couldn't be like a full-time. If it's a case where you don't want to work on a weekend. So the hours are very odd. With my current job now, it's a bit more stable, where you do have like a 9 to 5 kind of a thing, but that's only because of where I am now, which is more a kind of environment. As I said, that also depends on where you are working. Because, so for example, I was doing communication, corporate company, then I could go back to having those same hours. So it all depends on where you're working. But definitely though, the television aspect, yeah, the television aspect can be very odd hours. You have to be prepared to, maybe, because suppose right now, like, I know it's because it's COVID happening and the beauty of social media. I know the Prime Minister having like a press conference now, so he's live. But so for example, before all of that, I would be required, okay, superior call me and say, okay, tomorrow the Prime Minister having like a Sunday morning call me, the Prime having a press conference up by Jamaica House. Media there. And I was like, okay, I have to just grab on my clothes, drive up there, So the hours can be odd. So be prepared to work hard.
Right. So you have to be
But if you love
adaptable.
but the important thing is if you love it, it won't seem like work.
Okay. All right, so we have a question from Excellence Chris 168. He says, talk to us about anxiety. How do you deal with that before a gig? Like go on the air, host a show, etc.
Hey, Chris is one of my mentees, so I have to give you thank you.
All right.
Okay. So in terms of dealing with anxiety, honestly, for me, it's breathing, like doing a simple breathing, like, see that? You just breathe in and out. Just a simple breathing helps. And also, sometimes I just say a quick word of prayer, like, God, please be with me as I do this. Amen. And also, it's kind of a good thing to embrace the anxiety, because you see, when you have that little nervousness in your belly, I experienced it even in high school when I used to like JCDC, and when I was in primary school, and nervous before, but then the moment age is like all of the nerves gone into the performance, and it's something that for me it has transitioned into my work life. So I may be nervous initially, and then all of that nerves goes into quote unquote the performance, which is being on camera or on stage or being in front of an audience. So you can use the anxiety to your advantage.
Right.
Yeah, but I said also doing some simple breathing techniques helps as well.
Okay, Chris, I really hope that helped you with the answer for that question. Sandy Heron says, how do you stand out when so many people are trying to be the same in media? That's a really good question, Sandy.
Hey, Sandy's girl.
Hey, Sandy.
By the way, Sandy's all the way in Japan. So
Thank you.
I appreciate her tuning, because I'm sure it's like bedtime or it's probably morning there now, actually. Anyway, as it relates to the question, being authentic, I think that's the most important thing. I think when you're authentic, it will naturally come across to people. I think when you're to be like somebody else, it comes off as being fake, and also you can't, after a while, you can't keep up with it because that's not you.
Right.
So I think it's interesting, because to stand out, you would think you'd have to try and do it like everybody else doing it, but no, the important thing is just being authentic, to being true to yourself. I was sharing with somebody recently, actually I think I was sharing with my mentee, and I was telling him that I remember when I just started out, and there was a specific program that I was hosting, and very good supervisor I had, but there was something that he didn't like that I did in my interviews. Like, if I was interviewing us, and they gave a joke, and my friends know I have a big laugh, so I'll be like, but he didn't like it, and he told me, he didn't like it, I should stop doing it, and I had to stop doing it. So I would be like the guest, and I'd be like, yeah, it's like taming myself. But over time, I realized that that part of me was it just came natural, and I actually have embraced my laugh. No, I'm not going to like brawling, like you're not going to be brawling, but at the same, it's naturally me. So I think once you're authentic, once you're true to yourself, you will connect with people, and people will embrace that.
Okay. I think it's Delane again. So Media Girl Ash has a question. She says, I already have a degree in journalism. How do I actually get a job? That's a good question, sis.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm not finished. Let me finish. I know it's just simple to say just apply, because there are so many people who are applying. The beauty, I mean, from my experience, why it was so, I think, easy for me to transition was because I was already working while I was at Carmack. I started working from I was in Carmack. So by the time graduation wasn't graduated, when I had graduation, I remember the day I think I left work, changed, and then just went to the graduation ceremony. And then, no, I'm lying. I went to the graduation ceremony right after. So if you are a student, it would be good that you can start doing some internship. If you've already finished and completed your degree, I would say, not only apply, but reach out to persons. You would be surprised opportunities that come from just reaching out to them. Social media nowadays, a lot of these persons are on social media, like a lot of these television executives, and the persons who control if you can get the job or not, they are there. Most of them are there. Some are not, but a lot of them are there. So use up your Facebook and your LinkedIn, and reach out to them. Send them a nice, respectable message. If you have some copies of your work, to them as well. And you'd be surprised, because for me, one of the jobs that I did, actually, when I left C, and I was, as I said, still at UE, wanted to do some still, but I realized that, okay, I'm doing my school full time. I was on a full scholarship, and I was like, okay, I still wanted the TV, so I wanted to do some freelancing. And I reached out to Owen James at the time. He had, as I said, this program on TV, but I like the Achievers segment because it's in line with what I like, those inspirational kind of stories and hearing from these business leaders. And he had interviewed me in his program, I think, maybe a year before. So I literally remember sending him a message on Facebook. I was like, hi, I am so and so. I was interviewed on your programs, a year ago. I'm a Carmack student. I would love to, do some work with you if it's possible. Maybe some freelance work. Let me know. And he contacted me, reached out, invited me to come in for an interview. And my internet seems to be.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Don't tell me the internet gone again.
It's a bit delayed, but I'm hearing.
Are you here? Sorry, not because it was buffering, and I was like, I don't know if the internet gone.
It's delayed.
Yes, so I'm saying that I reached out to him, and then I started doing some freelancing with him, and I ended up doing that for for the 2 years that I had left in Tarmac, I was doing that, and that program was coming on TV every. Are our viewers hearing, or the person
Yeah,
on the?
so it was really delayed, so I was waiting for it to stay
Even if
with it.
it's delayed, are you hearing?
Yeah, I'm hearing. All right, so there was a comment that I wanted to highlight.
Again from home. Horrible.
Okay, so Kamir was saying networking is always awesome. Slide in some DMs, cold message on LinkedIn. I totally
Okay.
agree. Because knowing these people actually give you a leg in. All right, so Kamir also said, also always include if you can assist me, I would greatly appreciate it. Put me in touch with someone who might be able to. So at least they might can put you in touch with somebody else in their network. So that I totally agree with that, Kamir. All right, so Tamara, tell us where we can find you so that we would be able to get more expertise, more of your valuable experience shared with us.
Okay. Sorry again, guys, about the internet. I had no idea it was this crappy. All right, but you can find me most all the platforms at Tamara McKayle. I think my IG is Tamara.McKayle. On Facebook it's Tamara McKayle. But I don't see, I think I've seen anybody else with my name with Tamara McKayle. It's once you put in that name, you more you're going to find. I've not, because I've actually Googled myself, and a bunch of other persons come up. I don't see any other Tamara McKayle. So yeah. So once you, I'm on. So I'm on. What I mean, I'm on IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn is the same, Tamara McKayle. And please go and subscribe to my channel, growing channel on YouTube, The Trailblaze Tamara. It's on YouTube. Just hit that notification bell. Watch the videos, comment, like, share, and most importantly, I think I would like show somebody this. Can you guys read what it says?
It always seems impossible until it's done. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So that would be my motivation, to, persons who are here. I'm actually glad that it's a small group, especially because my internet crappy. but yeah, it always seems impossible until it's done. And so I would always tell persons to have that, I call it a spirit of excellence, but excellent with with yourself and in all that you do, because maybe one person watching in your life, it may be a million persons watching, but it's important that you are authentic and you're excellent. You give of yourself and you give of your best. One of the things I always pride myself in, every job that I've worked at, every place that nobody can say I shortchanged them. So even when I remember I found some old pictures last week, and I found a picture when I was at sixth form, and I was doing National Youth Service summer work at NYS. They had the summer work, and I was working at the tax office, and I found the pictures when I was in the filing department, and you just see the whole heap of files in the background. And one thing with me, even when I was doing that summer work and NYS, I'm so grateful to the government they're giving you.
Facts.
And I always it's nonetheless, because you never know who's watching, and trust me, all of those things builds you up for the stage. So there's a prize the day of small. So you might feel right now that you're not at where you should be. Maybe you don't think you are popular enough, or don't focus on that. Just on your goals, focus on your dreams, and the money as well, because a lot of times we don't talk about this. I'm going to tell you, media in Jamaica it don't really pay. It don't really pay a whole lot. So I probably should mention that. So other skill sets, so you can own thing as well, so to supplement that income. Because a lot of times you see people on TV are like, oh man, I live in a mansion. No, that's why a lot of times they have to have like several other jobs. Maybe they're doing the thing, and then you see that they're doing a corporate job as well. You know, maybe they're doing several jobs. But once you're passionate about something and it's what you love to do, you will work hard at it and the more come. So don't focus and don't focus on the critics as well. You will always have sometimes you do to do. Suppose they say you're too fat and you say, okay, I need to lose 20 pounds. If you're 20 pounds, do it for yourself. Don't you say, okay, you know what, I need to be healthy because you're being forced to. Because people, you please people and they still you. So you have to make sure that most importantly, that you value yourself and you're also judge yourself. And work on yourself, and trust me, it will come. It will come. Even if it takes, no matter how long it takes, the important thing is don't give up. Because sometimes the moment you step out when you give up is the moment it's happening. So it's just important to push through.
I agree. I'm just
Yes.
loving the comments. I'm not sure if you're seeing it. So Tishana, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She said, "Great, give value, don't just ask." Nakita says, "Tamara, you're amazing." Um, I was asking earlier where we can find you, and Tamara said at Digital Customer Service tomorrow. Natania says, "So proud of you, big sister." I'm just loving the comments, guys. Thank you. I feel so proud to be working with Tamara on this.
No, I'm really happy because also these people are like my AWE. Shout out to the AWE entrepreneurial group.
Aww.
And
I'm sorry it got cut off, Tamara. I'm just gonna allow you to give your shout out. Let us know where we can find you, and then we're gonna go. That's so rude.
Okay, no, it's fine because I was literally saying, is my internet again?
Not this time.
Yo, I'm not going live from here anymore unless But yeah, what you say you want me to do?
I wanted to shout out. You were doing a shout out before it got cut off, so I wanted to go ahead and do that.
I was giving a shout out to my AWE peeps that are here. Thank you so much, my AW. I see my partner Nakita and Tishana and Asha and who else did say? I don't know if I think at one time I saw Dr. Della Enze as well. And of course my mentee Chris, I really appreciate you joining. And my girl Sandy and my little sister Nathania. We're not blood sisters, but she's all the way in New York.
Hey.
And we actually became close because of a mentorship program as well that I did. Because I used to mentor some students at the Dunoon Technical High School, and I mentored them from third form straight up to fifth form, and then they graduated and they invited me to their graduation ceremony.
I would cry.
Yes. So that's why mentorship is so important, because it really is important to give back. And the truth is, a lot of persons have mentored me in some way. So it's just important that you give back to others.
I agree.
You can only get more blessings from it.
Sis, I've been hearing that. I think that's my sign. I think I've been hearing that so much this weekend alone. I just feel like, yeah. So I just want to thank you, Tamara, for dedicating your time to us, for giving back, for being just a mind overall. It's truly a pleasure working with you. And oh, thank you, Chris. Big up MOJ. Kudos. Oh, thank you, Chris. So this video will be posted on our YouTube channel as well, Minds of Jamaica YouTube channel. You can go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Tamara's Trailblazer YouTube channel as well, because I'm definitely going over there right now after this. And you can also
Yes,
message
please.
her.
And
Girl, I'll be
message me
so
on IG. And I know whatever you post on YouTube, I know it's probably have to go edit because we get cut off so much time. So again, my
absolutely.
apologies about the internet. I will not go live from my yard anymore.
That's fine. I just want to say thank you again. And we'll be back next week's Monday. Please join us to see who our special guest will be so that we can talk more about the different career paths that are available and the mentorship that we have available as well.
Okay, awesome.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. And sorry about the internet.
Sis, putting them here. All right.